water-soluble hormone receptors. For example, we have epinephrine and then insulin and growth hormone binding to these receptors. So we have capillary, and then these hormones bind to the G protein coupled receptors on the plasma membrane of the cell, and that will activate G protein, and that will activate this one adrenal cyclase, and that will activate ATP, and actually it will convert ATP to CAMP, and that CAMP will activate the protein kinase, and that activated protein kinase will go to convert ATP to ADP. And here we have protein kinase phosphorylate proteins, just like floating around this cytoplasm, and that one will bind to it, and this will activate the protein. So this is inactivated protein, but it goes to here and it activates the protein. So for the lipid soluble hormone receptors, it's a little bit much slower and prolonged response. It has one than the water soluble ones, and it associates with intracellular receptors, just like nuclear receptors and cytosolic receptors. It also interacts with DNA and RNA synthesis, and when it activated, it helps with transcription, and then it creates new proteins, and it creates changes in the cell. So for example, in the capillaries, we have the lipid soluble hormone diffuse right through the cytoplasm, and then it combined with receptor hormone complex, and it goes into the nucleus, and then it helps with DNA. We get the mRNA from DNA, and then that mRNA will go through to the SCR, and then we will make, actually I think it's ROFER or SER, or anyways ER that's for sure, and then we make new proteins here. And so we have two different lipid soluble hormones, like steroid and thyroid. And steroid, we have two different kinds for it: estrogen and testosterone. And so this is a cell membrane, and then we just like have phospholipid bilayer. That is what the cell membrane is about. And so it doesn't like water soluble hydrophilic things, so it doesn't allow it to go through. However, if you have a membrane bound receptors, it can go through the cell membrane. And for non-polar and hydrophobic things, it can go through it just so super easy, and then it binds to the cytosolic or nuclear receptors inside of the cell.